moistly, speaking moistly, 2 meters apart, speaking moistly.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Speaking Moistly, and we are here on our Election Day edition of Speaking Moistly. Thanks for joining me, Greg, in your breathless American politics coverage. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, man. How are you? Happy
Good.
election day.
Yes, man. It's been 4 years of people telling me Trump's never going to make it. They're going to get rid of him. He's gone. He's gone.
He's
Tomorrow.
still here.
He's
He's still here.
He's still here. They tried to impeach him. There's all sorts of stuff they tried and it didn't work. Stormy Daniels. Do you remember Stormy Daniels?
Man, there's been so many great seasons to that reality TV show of American politics.
Everyone's favorite president. That's my favorite show, too.
Yeah. It's there's always another person he's firing, and the Mueller and the investigation,
Yeah.
and the person who I forget all the names. I don't even keep up with it.
The
that
Mooch,
much.
the press secretary, or what was it? Was his name the Mooch? I can't remember him.
Bill Barr, and then who was the girl who had the trial? She was like, "Oh yeah, Kavanaugh, the whole Kavanaugh ordeal."
Oh, during the Kavanaugh trial,
Well,
I mean, it's been an eventful 4 years, hasn't it?
The show had so many good seasons, so many good moments, so many good ups and downs, different characters. It was great.
Indeed. Oh, who was the press secretary who made the pie? It was the same as I think it was during the Kavanaugh hearings. What was her name? Her father was the governor.
I don't watch the show, man. I don't watch the show.
Hold on.
I just see the highlights.
I'm pausing. Hold on. I just had to start typing in Google as Sarah Huckabee Sanders. That's who it was. And she was the press secretary who made the pie. But anyway, we'll talk about American politics at the end of the show. First, let's talk about this. During my show this morning, I reported on this. Ottawa's top doctor says it's time to learn to live with COVID-19. And she says, the approach I'm recommending is that we learn to coexist with COVID with care. And the reason I'm concerned is because at the end, she says, Dr. Etches explained it would be less harmful to have people in controlled environments going forward. That's instead of, having people over to your house, go to a bar where they know that they've put in PPE and all of the other stuff. How much less human can we get? What do you think, Craig?
I think that I agree with her in principle, but it's like we need to learn to live with COVID, as in like let's go back to normal, and COVID is just a reality. But it's like she doesn't really mean let's learn to live with COVID. She means like let's embrace the new normal, as if all these draconian safety measures are something that we want to adopt as commonplace.
Yeah.
Which I think is totally wrong.
Yep.
Because I mean, for any doctor, we need to have the conversation about, I'm sorry, but like, how is wearing masks, how is not going outside, how is not interacting with others actually going to affect our immune system, our social, well-being, everything else, because it's not good.
Yeah. No, well said. And it's when these people are talking about, don't worry, everyone, we're going to get back to the new normal. They're not talking about returning to normal, but prior to COVID, we had a situation where our hospitals were running at like 110%. People were having surgeries. There was no there wasn't concern about hallway medicine. And now the province has set 85% capacity limits and all sorts of other stuff. But my point was, we learned to live with deaths from heart attacks. We learned to live with deaths from strokes and car accidents and other things that come with our modern life, like bad diets and driving around and things that run on explosions. I mean, there's going to be deaths. We have to get to a balance where we're not okay with the deaths, but understand that this is part of the world that we live in, right? Like we can take precautions to protect those who are susceptible, but otherwise we need to get back to things.
Absolutely. We need to get back to our lives. And once again, it's so frustrating how little, places like Sweden are mentioned, or places like other countries are mentioned. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. It really seems as though our leaders are just kind of like pushing these kind of like measures to see what they'll get away with. Will they complain about this? Will they complain about that? And so far we're, Canadians are asleep at the wheel,
Yep.
and they're buying into this like helicopter mom mentality of we need to keep everybody safe. Like one case is too many cases.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you compare it to the beginning of the lockdown, it's like we flattened the curve, folks.
Yep.
The death curve. That's the curve that matters. I think.
Yep. Yeah. No, I agree. It's scary because it doesn't seem like anybody's even really asking for criteria to go back to normal, right? Like the criteria seems to be 0 cases, and it doesn't look like, well, between the flawed testing and the increase in cases, that's not coming anytime soon. But getting back to normal, even if you protest, it seems you don't have an option to get back to normal. This is a Facebook post, and I'm going to read all of it. I read it all on my other show as well, but I'm going to read all of it, and then I'm going to show you the police response to this. I switched the tab order, so apologies. But here's the Facebook post. Elmers' next lawful public... Elmer's like this big, okay? There's like 15 people? No, there's probably...
Apparently it's 7,500 people live in Elmer.
Thank you for having that on hand. 7,000 people in Elmer, so this is very concerning, okay? Elmer, next lawful public freedom march is Saturday, November 7th, 2020 at 1:30 p.m. in the East Elgin Community Complex parking lot, 531 Talbot Street. Speeches at 1:45 and march at 2:10 p.m. down the right-hand side of Main Street, Highway 3, heading east. This is a family-friendly parade, and it is of utmost importance that we remain peaceful, friendly, and positive. Times are tough, and as we work to get this country open, people are struggling because of government COVID policies. If you would like to donate to the food bank, we will have a place set up by the stage, blah, blah, blah. I'm really looking forward to meeting you and for a nice walk with everyone as we advocate for our freedom. Make signs and bring them along. Bring your family and children and friends. We're focused on freedom, medical freedom, and getting back to normal. Please stay on topic as we want to build credibility to our freedom movement. And hey, we're Canadians. See you soon. And thanks for your help, Kimberly. Okay, Kimberly, this is the Elmer Police's response. And I'm sorry, this is me diatribing for a long time, but I apologize. But here it is. The town of Elmer declared a state of emergency. This action has been taken in direct response to a second anti-masking freedom march planned for November 7th. The potential for civil unrest and service disruptions has prompted this response. So,
they're donating.
Kimberly,
they're donating to the food bank. The horror! Oh my God! A state of emergency.
How dare they? I heard that one guy was going to wear a MAGA hat, and so that's it. Done in Canada. That's it. This is really, really concerning. You can read the whole state of emergency declaration. It's here, signed by the mayor of Elmer. But man, this isn't really what I expected when I was growing up. This living in a police state where if you want to express your freedom and have a march with some maybe like-minded people and have speeches and a food truck donation wagon, you get a state of emergency called preemptively on you. It just seems like the graphic novel that's been writing in my head is taking a turn for the worse.
It seems like a very liberal use of the word emergency.
Yes.
And amidst all this insanity of turning our lives upside down, 99% of us will be fine. You know what I mean? Like it's if you look at the numbers, it's kind of like, what emergency?
Yes.
Where is this?
Oh, you were talking COVID. I thought I thought you were saying 99% of us are going to come out on the other side of this. And I was like, there are other places in history where this happened and 99% of us were not fine. You're talking COVID. If we were just talking COVID, you'd be right. But we're talking about an autocratic government that thinks that 7,000, even if the entire population of Elmer came out, do you think that the OPP would be overwhelmed? If the OPP were overwhelmed, do we have other questions?
Well, it is weird because it is getting to this point where, if you criticize, disagree with the leader, you're hate speech, you're committing hate speech online, or you're dissenting, and that's bad. And you're protesting against the leaders. Oh, there's an emergency. Oh my God. Oh, there are a bunch of people disagree with us. Oh, emergency. This is horrible. Like, we need to stop these people who are dissenting and disagreeing with us.
Yeah. I mean, an afternoon outside march, come over everybody to my house, wink, wink, and we're all going to get together and not social distance. Like, okay, but maybe, right? Like checking for the Halloween party, right?
I love the fact that they've added in that they had, hey, yeah, we're also doing like a food drive, like a very, very traditionally like great, unanimously great altruistic thing. Okay, food drive, people need the food for the food bank, and the fact that they're calling a state of emergency on something that involves a food drive, I think just kind of like makes it that much funnier.
Yeah, it underscores that they, that these evil freedom marchers are evil enough to want to donate their time and energy to making sure the people who are hungry don't stay hungry.
And I gotta say, this attitude, because it's the same thing as this top Ottawa doctor as well. These people who are just like, I love wearing face masks.
Yes.
I love everyone staying inside. Where are all these people with these attitudes? It honestly disgusts me so much.
Man,
this attitude is so popular, and it's basically the mode of operandi now for like so many leaders, even in Elmer. Even like,
welcome to Elmer, Ontario. Put your mask on.
Yeah, it's like
there's a state of emergency.
There's only 7,000 of us here. Like, come on.
Yeah. I mean, even if all 7,000 people showed up, even if, it's incredible. It's I don't know. I was gonna say something, but then we continued talking, and it jumped out of my head. It seems every week we're talking about new fines given, this time a Halloween party. Right. And it says over the weekend, Toronto police had to deal. Oh, that's what I was going to say. There's so many. You were saying all these people who really love wearing the mask. And my bus stop this morning. So we were talking about Halloween, and I didn't mention anything. But apparently taking your kids trick-or-treating is verboten at this point in time. Oh, my goodness. There was like 50% of people at least had people trick-or-treating. A lot of people there was lots of interaction. It was great.
That's awesome. Good.
It was good. We had fun. And I didn't feel bad for trick-or-treating, just like I don't feel bad if there's a flu going around and we trick-or-treat, right? Like, I'm not feeling bad about that. But then at the bus stop, there was other people talking about how they were walking around in the daytime, because I was saying how cold it was. And man, Halloween was super cold, but we had fun anyway. It was cold, but not wet. Last year was wet. And the response was, oh, we went walking around in the daytime because they did a little Halloween parade through the park across the way. And I thought, like, isn't that an organized gathering? Isn't that like, wait for the brown shirts to show up with their, like, you're done, guys. Like, you can't have a gathering. A gathering, right? I was just knocking on some doors, you nut jobs. Like, yeah. And not the people at my bus stop, just the people who think that, does the virus know it's daytime? Like, does the virus know? Like, all the Karens, the pearl clutching Karens, those are the nut jobs I'm talking to, not the bus stop people.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with being a Karen. That's okay. It happens. And
I've heard that.
I would say maybe the UV rays actually would deter the virus from spreading. From what I've heard, a UV ray will actually destroy the virus. But
so at nighttime, the virus is free to roam. Are you saying that the virus
Don't you believe in science? Come on. I don't know.
That Normie song is fantastic. It is wonderful. You did a great job.
He's talking about a new video on my YouTube channel. Go check it out after this.
Go check it out. I love show tunes, and I love I really do like shows, and I've listened to your song far too many times.
I put a lot into it. I think
it's good.
I like it anyway.
Yeah, dude. No, it's great. It's wonderful. I enjoyed it. But anyways, back to the news and what we're talking about. Go watch Normies right after this. Over the weekend, Toronto police had to deal with a Halloween party with 60 to 70 people in attendance. They had to deal with it. I mean, I guess they could have dealt with the guy. Did you hear about the guy with the sword or the shootings in Niagara? But they were policing those parties.
Yeah, they had to deal with the Halloween party. Oh my God. Oh, you had to deal with the Halloween party. I hate the way that it's phrased. That is phrased. That like really bothers me. But no, the other news that I think happened since last week, since we last talked, somebody in Scarborough, a Sunday afternoon in the middle of the day, well, daylight.
Yeah.
Somebody got shot over like social distancing.
I heard that.
Apparently, the rumor was because it was social distancing, but like getting shot in a Lickbo parking lot on a Sunday afternoon.
That's so Scarborough though. No?
Is it?
I don't know.
Like
I'm not sure.
That's I don't know.
I've seen.
I just feel like that should be a little bit more popular news because like to know that people are, oh, the COVID's out there, watch out. Oh, well, you also might get shot in the Scarborough parking lot
by the pro clutching
at the
Karens.
Lickbo. Like that's kind of, that's a little bit more severe than getting a case of COVID when you get shot dead in a parking lot. You can't really recover from a case of a being shot.
That's true. I mean, you can recover from being shot, but not shot dead. But point taken. And I don't think that shootings in LCBO parking lots were part and parcel of, being in Scarborough at really any point. I think that maybe Scarborough had like a rough kind of like reputation, but as far as getting shot, picking up your LCBO. Now, I have been seeing lots over the past couple of years, videos of people just robbing the LCBO of alcohol, like filling their pants. Like their pants are full of bags and they walk out with bags full of like vodka bottles or plastic vodka bottles or whatever. Right. And it's like, nobody stops them. Or if the people stop them, the LCBO people say, don't stop those people. They're, you might get hurt. And okay, yes, you might get hurt, but rule of law. But I talked about rule of law being, the police more interested in handing out ticket fines to party hosts than they are dealing with daytime shootings in LCBO parking lots. That's unfortunate.
And I think it's funny with a headline like this. These people, these pro-mask people will be like, oh, that's so awful that these people would be partying on Halloween. And then, somebody getting shot in a Lickbo parking lot, they're like, well, that just happens, guys. Like,
welcome to
happen.
part and
I
parcel.
have no moral stance on somebody getting shot in a Lickbo parking lot. But somebody party on Halloween, they need to be hung.
They know better.
I'm exaggerating, but you know what I mean.
Imagine if all of Elmer came out on Halloween. Whew. My goodness. Emergency. State of emergency.
State of emergency.
Right away. Okay, so here's one more post-apocalyptic headline for you in our fictitious Canadian graphic novel. We should maybe start writing these down. We've got like 6 pages in my head. Okay. Manitoba mulls curfew to clamp down on parties amid rise in COVID-19 cases. And I tweeted out like, Manitoba, really? You're looking at a curfew? Is this going to help? And somebody said, it's a rural kind of place. If it's cold outside, people go to people's houses. So that's what is happening here. And I thought, that's evil. Like, that's just terrible, right? Like, if you're going to get ticketed for being out late, welcome to Manitoba. Right? Canada's like, our reputation for the affable hat of America is just down the tubes.
It honestly just feels like we're getting bullied at this point. We're just bullied into like, hey, you can't hang out with your friends anymore.
Yep.
Well, why? Because COVID.
Yep.
And because people are going to die if you hang out with your friends.
Yep.
Deal with it.
And then if you say, but wait a second, the stats don't match up. And me and some friends, we all agree that the stats don't match up. You deserve some answers. Then you get state of emergency.
State of emergency.
You're done.
Yeah.
Trump card, baby.
Or that's hate speech. You're committing hate speech.
You know about my fight with the Upper Grand District School Board?
How is it going? I know about
Done.
it.
Oh, I lost. That's
what?
Okay. Oh yeah. Well, I always knew that I was going to lose. I said that at the beginning of the video essay that I did, right?
This was over critical race theory, right?
Critical race theory, yeah. So I always said that I was going to lose. I always knew that I was going to lose.
Well,
that was a foregone
conclusion.
You
for standing up and fighting for a reason.
Yeah. Well, I hope so. But there's always something else that you can possibly do, and so I started a human rights tribunal. Motion, whatever that is.
Okay.
And I was way back in September. I haven't heard from the human rights people. I emailed them on October.
You're a straight white male, so they just threw your request in the trash, basically.
I was quite explicit, and I linked to my video essay. I was quite explicit about why I thought that it was an attack on people's race, and I thought that this is clearly against human rights, and regardless of the race that's being targeted, we've got this racist person that's employed by the Board of Education who's saying racist things about white people. I said this. I thought this is pretty straightforward. It's weird that I haven't heard anything. I thought I think it said like there's like 10 or 12 days that you should hear, and it's been like I did it in September.
We're obviously going on like a tangent here, but when it comes to critical race theory, like we're seeing Trump denouncing it, saying I don't like it. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing different clips from the UK and other parliamentarians in other countries who are just, and it's mostly actually black people who are ranting about it and being like, this stuff sucks. This is like not a good thing to be teaching people. This is bringing tribalism back into the minds of young people in our population. It's not a good idea. And it's just frustrating because it's like here in Canada, it's like we're looking around, we're waiting for somebody to say something, and it's just like Jagmeet Singh or just like white people are terrible. And it's like, okay, great.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Thanks.
It's very interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can do. But anyway, so regardless, there's the reason I do what I do is because I want to see it's the same reason I monetize my YouTube channel. I want to see how far I go before they demonetize me, before they get rid of me, before they toss me on my ear, right? Like, and not to say that I want to do something that's going to do that, but I want to be honest and genuine and say what I believe to be true. And I want to see what these tech platforms believe is crossing that line, right? And I got a good sense of that.
It's a pretty normal impulse. You want to speak freely in a free country and talk about the things you want to talk about.
Yep. Yeah. So anyway, if you take it as far as it can go, the Human Rights Tribunal people will ignore you, apparently.
Well,
so far, being ignored.
Never
know. No, I mean, it could be very busy. COVID, right? I mean, you can't work right now. COVID.
Yeah, and you know what? Jessica Yaniv is probably sending so many different emails to them that you're getting buried in Jessica Yaniv emails. It's probably
there's definitely. Did you hear she couldn't be in a beauty contest? I tried to enter the same beauty contest. They said that I was too pretty.
Well, I mean, I heard Jessica Yaniv got banned from it, and I was up all night crying.
I couldn't believe it either.
I can't believe this. This is so atrocious.
Like ugly crying, like the Leave Britney Alone.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Manitoba.
Okay.
So I'm not a fan of curfews and not a fan of critical race theory, but I think you're exactly right. I think it feels like we're being bullied. It feels like no matter what you do to stand up to the bully, you are going to get trounced because the bully doesn't care, and the bully is bigger than you and all of your classmates because they've got a state of emergency and the principal in their back pocket.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to see the other side of this of like, oh, well, this is going to help to stop spread cases and all this. And
it's all bullshit.
Yeah, well, it's just like, since when is a COVID case like the end of the world? You know what I mean? Like there seems to be this new mentality that having a COVID case is like this horrible thing where, you have a 99% chance or more of being completely fine.
Yep.
And at least when you have a case, to be in quarantine or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like for the people that aren't positive, live your life. Doesn't seem like rocket science to me, but
it's when the government does stuff like gives you fines for hosting parties and cracks down on people who are gathering to have speeches in a parking lot that the things are really gone around the corner, right? Like you can't get back to your life. That's not possible. Even not wearing a mask. I don't wear a mask when I go out. People try and give me a hard time. People have chilled out a little bit now because I force them to see my smiling face, but I've got Trump up on here. It's kind of funny because he looks anyway. But getting back to normal is not possible without the consent of the elite at this point in time, the elite in governing. So I don't know what the next step is.
Yeah, I don't know. Something that we brought up more last time is just the state of like small business owners. And I'm talking to my one friend, and it's like for the people like, after the lockdown, the small business owners are like, oh, I can make it. And then they're doing this new lockdown. It's just like kicking them in the face while they're hardly able to get back up. It's so sad to see.
And completely without data, like no data to back it up, none whatsoever. No data at all.
It's
terrible.
It's going to be interesting. Stay on your toes, folks. Stay on your toes and don't be afraid to, speak out, but do so strategically. Do it in a smart way. Don't do it in a,
Well, even Kimberly from Elmers, I mean, she wasn't doing it in a way that was anything other than strategic, and she's getting slapped with the state of emergency. It's terrible. It's awful. And I don't know the clear path out. I don't know if there is a clear path out. All right, let's look south just to finish us off today. We got a few minutes left. U.S. elections. What are your predictions? Go. Hot take.
I think that we have to consider like election. What do you call it? Election friggin' interference or the ballots, the mail-in ballots,
Yeah.
right? So I'm hoping that it's going to be such a landslide for Trump that even their attempt to kind of like mail-in ballots is going to look weak and not even be feasible.
Mm-hmm.
I think that everyone is preparing for riots. So I think that those are going to happen because of the results. There's going to be a lot of like kind of confusion of like who won. Everyone, like the Trump supporters, are going to think Trump won because he's like winning at the end of the night. But everyone's going to be like trying to buy time of no, there's more votes coming in. But generally, aside from who is president, my prediction is this: the news cycle that you are used to, folks, tonight. It is going to ascend to the next level of chaos. Just like it did in 2016 when Trump got elected, it ascended, and it really hasn't gone anywhere since. It's really still been in the same chaotic place. And tonight we are going to ascend to the next level of chaos. And
Yeah, I don't know. I think that somebody's given orders. I think that they don't want to see that again. I think they want to take control of the situation. I think that I think they decided 2 days ago or 3 days ago or a year ago, whenever, that they're not going to be baited into being upset about the results because they will dictate the results. And that's what I think. And I think that a Trump win in person on November.
Will dictate the results.
They what?
You said they will dictate the results. Who's they?
I think they want to try the news. Yeah, I think that they're gonna say that so I've heard that if Trump tries to declare victory, if he tries to say I won, that the news is either not going to report it or Twitter's gonna minimize it and make it one of those situations.
It's going to be that ruthless. It's just we make the news, so we tell the people. Wow.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what I think the play is. I think that they looked at 2016 and they looked out of control in 2016, and once they looked out of control, they don't like that, and so they're going to fix that this time by 3 days ago deciding what they're going to do today, regardless of what's happening today. And I think Trump knows that. I think that Trump's going to try and get his way around it.
Actually, what you're saying is the actual results of the election has nothing to do with what they're going to say on through mainstream media outlets and like through big tech channels.
I don't think. I made the point earlier that there's nobody from 2016 who supported Trump who doesn't now. I can't count on one hand anybody who told me, there's nobody who said, man, that Trump guy 2016 looking good, and now
every single former Trump supporter apparently that now is a Democrat supporter was in a Democratic ad. I used to vote for Trump, but now I don't. It's like the two that they could find were actually in an advertisement.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, but. Yeah, so I think that the majority of people I think that his results are going to be overwhelming in person today. I think that he's going to have a lot of support. Just looking at the in-person gatherings across the state. Now, the other part of this is I've seen reports from Brooklyn and other New York districts, other battleground states that poll workers just didn't show up. So like if you're standing in line for 6 hours and the poll worker's 6 hours late, and now you're standing in line for 12 hours, right? So that's so how do you know if those votes never got cast, right? If you just grind the whole system to a complete stop, what happens, right? So they're shameless, and it's all out, everything they've got, and the kitchen sink to boot, and no holds barred. And that's what I think we're looking at today. But I think Trump's going to win.
I think so too. I mean, there's just so much high energy going on in his campaign. And I mean, he's getting
none of it.
He's getting these like rappers are coming out to endorse him, which I think is amazing.
Yeah, Lady Gaga getting completely made fun of for her campaigning for Biden. Like I vote for America. I turned it off. I laughed. I was like, what the. Well, if you were some like guy from Texas's girlfriend who posted this on her Instagram, he would never live this down. It doesn't matter if you're Lady Gaga. Like that was so cringe.
Very true. Sometimes I take those clips and I send it to some of my normie friends, and I just kind of like send it to them, and I just want to tell them like they think you're like a child, like they're talking to you like you're like a little kid.
Yeah.
Like, is this really? I don't know.
Is this how you want to be treated by your leaders?
How you want to be treated? Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, look at how our leadership's treating us, right? Like you guys can't get together because COVID. Don't look at those case numbers. Don't look at those case numbers. I don't know. I think Trump's gonna win. I think.
Yeah,
Canada's,
and speaking of that, I hope that Trump represents kind of like the new paradigm of politics in the 21st century, because a lot of people, I try to explain to people, they're like, "Oh, Trump is so mean. His decorum is terrible. He's so rude." And it's like, yeah, well, what do we have here in Canada? We have this guy who is constantly stabbing us to the back, breaking ethics violations, all this stuff. Oh, but he's polite. Oh my God, he's polite. Oh
Yep.
my God, that's so great. No, it's not. I would much rather have somebody who is rude and at least being straight up with me, so I know what to expect from this person.
Yep.
And oh yeah, what's that thing called again? Honesty. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that's kind of nice actually, kind of refreshing. I prefer that than this backstabbing weasel.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think Canada's in bad trouble, and I think that we're on a path to a place where the only people who can help us are us.
Yeah, it's up to the people for sure. Really
Yeah.
is. Truly is.
So, and if they're done with laying down and taking this garbage, then well, then the OPP will declare a state of emergency.
Yeah, I have about as much faith in the House of Commons helping Canada as I do the Chinese Communists helping Canada. That's how much faith I
Yeah.
have in the Commons.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've got to wrap it up because I've got to go get the bus. Well, the kids from the bus, and I think that's pretty good. What do you think, Greg?
Yeah, thanks for having me, man, and enjoy. Have a nice election night, everybody.
Yeah, it should be fun. Are you're doing a show tonight? Give it a plug.
Yeah, so I'm going to be doing a live stream with Daniel Boardman on the National Telegraph. So I will try to see if there's a link for you yet, but it's going to be a live stream for the National Telegraph. If you haven't seen this news website, it's a Canadian news website. It's new, it's growing. I highly recommend it. The National Telegraph. Look them up.
And add it to your Twitter maybe, and we could put the link to your Twitters in the description. All right, and otherwise, okay, I'll do this later. Otherwise, thanks for watching, everybody. Check out CanadaPoly.com. Check out CanadaReport.co. That's my scratch pad and where I'm adding ideas and things that I'm working on. And Greg, check out his YouTube channel. Check out Normies. It's awesome. Greg, where are you at other than that? YouTube channel, Twitter?
Yeah, check out my YouTube channel primarily. Everything else is there.
Cool. And have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Speaking moistly, keep 2 meters apart. Speaking moistly.